Hey guys, how's it going? OliPlays here, and welcome back to Leagues in Focus. Now today we're going to be taking a look at the Belgian Pro League, or Jupiler Pro League, or Belgian Pro League A. It's got a lot of names and it's a very complicated league, so bear with me. I'll talk you through it and then we'll talk about players and teams and all that good stuff. So before I get into that, I would just like to point you over in the direction of my own personal channel, which is OliPlays. I've just restarted my Red Star series. Took a bit of a break, but now I'm back, hopefully for good. And yeah, a lot of FM content coming soon, so go check that out after this video. Now then, let's start with the Belgian Pro League. The Belgian Pro League is an interesting one. So it starts off very simple. You got 16 teams. Every team plays each other twice, so that's 30 games. And then it begins to get a bit complicated. So we'll start with the top 6. Well, the top 6 qualify for the championship group. And what happens is all their points from the previous round are halved, rounding up, I believe. And then they play every other team in the top 6 twice, so that's 10 more games, 40 games in a season for them. If you finish top of the league, well, obviously you win the league and you go straight through to the Champions League group stage. Finish second in there, well, you're through to the Champions League best place third round of qualifying. Third place, well, Europa League group stage. And then fourth and fifth, depending on who wins the Belgian Cup, fourth and fifth will go into the third qualifying round of the Europa League. Obviously, if the cup winner is in the top 4, then fifth place will get Europe. But if they're not in the top 4, then fifth place doesn't get Europe, and the European spot is awarded to the winner of the Belgian Cup. Now, the last place European spot, so whether that's the team that won the Belgian Cup or the team in fifth place, they're going to qualify for something called a European playoff, and we're going to get to that very shortly, but just bear that in mind. Now then, the other 10 teams, well, what happens to them? Well, first of all, the team in 16th place, instantly relegated. No more games for them. They're just straight down, end of their season. Now, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Pro League B, just because you kind of need to know about that just to understand. So what happens is, in the Pro League B, there's 8 teams and they play each other twice, but there's 2 separate seasons. And then what happens is the 2 teams that won those seasons play each other in a playoff game, and the winner for that gets promoted. Then the league splits into 4 teams and 4 teams. We don't need to worry about the bottom 4, but the top 4 is where it gets interesting. So obviously there's the team that gets promoted. Don't worry about them. They're not going to be involved in this at all. But the other 3 teams out of the top 4 that didn't get promoted, well, they also qualify for a Europa League playoff, which involves the teams from 7th to 15th. So that's the grand total of 12 teams are involved in this Europa League playoff. Like the MLS, you're going to have to go back, probably listen to this a couple of times, just get your head around it. But there's these 12 teams in the European playoff. What happens is they get randomly split into 2 groups of 6. Their points just get wiped out. They play every team in their group twice. The 2 winners of the groups then play each other in a single leg game, and that's classed as the Europa League playoff semi-final. Now the winner of that game then goes through to play against the lowest placed team that holds a European slot, and again, single game played, the winner of that gets the European spot. So it's very strange. You can have the second best team potentially in the B League getting in Europe, but the winners of the second league, they can't get Europe. It's very, very weird. Hopefully you can sort of understand it from what I've said. Again, go back, watch it again, just in case you're wondering or there's something you didn't quite get. Anyhow, now that's finally out of the way, nice and complicated, let's look at something a little bit more simple. So let's kick it off with the training facilities. Well, you got Anderlecht here. They've got superb facilities. It's going to be a theme for Anderlecht. Very strong club in this league. Then you've got Genk. They're excellent. Club Brugge, impressive. Ghent and Lokeren, they're good, and a few averages there. Followed up by an excellent from Standard Liège, or Liège. I apologise if I've offended anyone. And then impressives from Mouscron and Zulte Waregem. Then 3 goods, 2 averages. It's really not looking too bad for the Belgian Pro League in terms of training facilities. Now, if we go on to youth facilities, well, this is also looking great. We've actually got 2 superbs this time. We've got Anderlecht and Genk. You've got excellent with Club Brugge. That's an improvement from before. You've got 3 goods with Ghent, Lokeren and Charleroi. And then you've got 2 averages, Eupen and Kortrijk. Then in the second lot, well, Standard Liège, they're superb. Mouscron and Zulte Waregem, they go up to great. And you've got a good from Sint Truiden in the top right there. And then several averages. Oostend, they're letting the side down a little bit with adequate, but we'll let them off for that. That's the only team with facilities below average, which is really good. So where does that put them in the facilities? Well, they're very comfortably second. Decent way off the MLS facilities. I don't think we're actually going to see many better facilities in the MLS. Pro League, a lot better than the Swedish Allsvenskan, so comfortably sitting there in second place. Really good place to look for regens, but I think you guys all know that. If you haven't been looking at the Belgian League for regens, then I don't know what you've been doing. And let's take a look at the transfer budgets for the Belgian Pro League. Well, you'll be able to see straight off the bat, there's actually quite a bit more money. We've got the top 5 over $1 million and comfortably over $1 million when it comes to transfer budget. Anderlecht leading the way with 4.3 million. Again, not too far behind them, they've got 3.9, and Club Brugge have got over 3 million. So a lot of money in this league. Maybe tailing off a little bit. There's a lot of teams with actually no transfer budget. So there could be a few challenges for you if you were to take up a stake in this league. So then, where does that leave the tier list? Well, in reality, I would personally have made 5 tiers here, but obviously there wasn't enough space. Anderlecht are just a cut above the other teams. They really are. Top of the media predictions, highest budget, and then superb facilities for both training and youth. A really solid club, and I think a great challenge to try and really become a force in Europe. Then behind or equally to them, you've got Club Brugge, Genk, Ghent and Standard Liège. 4 fantastic clubs. You will be able to fight Anderlecht for the title, and these are definitely going to be the teams to beat to try and get a European spot. Then just behind them, you've got Lokeren, Mechelen, Oostend and Zulte Waregem. With these teams, you're trying to sneak into that championship playoff. And then from there, anything can happen. Sneaky European spot. Maybe win a title, but these top 5 teams, they are very, very good. Then you got the C tier, we got Charleroi, Kortrijk, Mouscron and Sint Truiden. These teams, you're going to be looking for those top spots in the Europa League playoff. Possibly you could sneak into the top 6, but it's going to be a struggle. Maybe you'll be able to create some kind of momentum towards the end of the season and somehow manage to sneak into a European spot. Then for the D tier, we've got Eupen, Vaasland and Mouscron. 3 teams who are going to be fighting it out to avoid that automatic relegation spot. Really not somewhere you want to be in. If you avoid that, somehow you still got a chance of Europe. It's a really interesting idea, this Belgian Pro League. Okay then, and onto some players and some young prospects. These are all of them. I hope you like the new graphic. And we're going to kick it off with Yuri Tielemans. Very well known wonder kid in Football Manager. Looks a really solid player. At the age of 19, got 15 first touch, 15 passing, 16 technique, 15 flair. He's got a lot. His determination and work rate, they're not the best, but you can look at really growing those. And if he does grow those, he's just going to be a world beater. Next up, we've got centre back Bjorn Engels, 21-year-old, already looks a great centre back. Mentals are coming along nicely, physicals as well, lowest of 12 there. Determination stands out for me, possibly a leader in the future. 12 leadership and young, plenty of space for that to grow. Good marking and heading, not terrible at tackling, but the standout thing is 14 passing. If you want a ball playing defender, this guy, great guy to go for. Leander Dendoncker, defensive mid, can play a little further up the pitch in central midfield, and if needs be, he can fill in at centre back. 6'2", so a tall guy. Some great physicals, great mentals, some decent technicals. I think this guy is very well rounded, and at 21, a lot of space to grow. I know he's a very hot prospect in real life, and he's got great bravery, determination and work rate, so he's just going to work all day for you. Next up, we've got Danilo. He's actually on loan from Brugge at Standard Liège, so you're not going to be able to pick him up in the first season. But look at the guy. He's a central or defensive midfielder. He's already got some really quality stats. All round, you're looking at 10s, 11s, 12s, 13s and 14s. Nothing above that, but very little below. At 20 years old, this guy is going to be so good when he's older. And valued at 2.8 million. I think he could be a steal if you can get him for cheap. And finally, I've got Nanny Dimata. He's a striker. Very good mentals. Questionable positioning, but besides that, really, really solid mentals. 17 acceleration, 17 pace. He's very quick. 6'1" as well, so a bit of a unit. 13 strength kind of solidifies that. 13 dribbling, 13 crossing. Finishing at 10, but 18 years old. A lot of space to grow, and probably one of the cheaper players that you're going to get from these prospects. Now that's the hot prospects done. Let's have a look at the media predicted best 11. Here they are overall, and as per usual, we'll start with the goalkeeper, who is Lovre Kalinic. Now this guy's 26, valued at 9 million, so quite expensive, but looks really, really solid. I think this guy's going to grow into a beast. He's just started a 6-year deal at Ghent, so could be expensive to pry away, but if you can pry him away, what a player you got on your hands here. Next up, we've got Nana Ser, 29-year-old Ghanaian left back, but he can play left mid, he can play centre back, he can play most places on the pitch. Fairly well rounded, could do a job for you in the Championship and in the prime of his career. Next up, we've got Kara, the centre back. Very solid centre back, very strong, not too slow, not the quickest, but not the slowest. Good natural fitness, good work rate, lacking a little bit of determination, but a natural born leader. I honestly think this guy could be a really good pickup, because in 2 years' time he's going to be in the prime of his career and he'd be a great captain. Second centre back, well, we've seen him already. It's Bjorn Engels. I won't go into him anymore. A right back, we've got Valery Lukovic. If you're picking this guy up, you may need a nickname. But 16 bravery, 16 determination, 16 work rate. Great mentals. Brilliant physicals. 16 pace and acceleration. He's very quick. And his technicals, fairly solid defensively, and 13 crossing. Personally love a fullback with great crossing. Valued at 650 grand. A lot of space to grow. I think this guy could be a quality pickup for very cheap. Again, another player we've seen, Danilo, is the defensive midfielder. Central midfield, we have Adrien Trabel, a 25-year-old Frenchman. Can play defensive midfield. He can start to play on both wings. Fairly quick, good stamina, fitness, determined, good work rate. He's going to be one of those players that's going to run up and down for you. Great passing technique and first touch, so obviously a playmaker. He's probably got quite a few years in him. Definitely a couple of years to grow, so look out for this guy. Second centre mid, more of an attacking mid. It's Nikolai Stanchi. Valued at 12 million, so quite an expensive player, but if you can afford that, you're getting a quality player. 15 passing, 14 first touch, 14 technique. He's got determination, he's got flair, he's got vision. He's already pretty much the complete package, and he's only 23. A left mid, Jose Izquierdo, 23-year-old winger, 17 pace, 16 acceleration, extremely quick, good dribbling. He's going to grow. A little bit expensive, but you could really pick him up around the Premier League. Right winger, Leo Rafaelov. I've definitely butchered that name, but 30-year-old Israeli. Not the quickest, well, 14 pace, but that's going to drop off very soon. Fantastic technicals, decent mentals. Finally at striker, Lukas Tedorzik. On loan from Kiev, so not going to be able to get him in the first season. Looks a very well-rounded striker. Fantastic mentals, fantastic physicals. 15 finishing and 16 heading. Yeah, he's definitely going to get goals wherever he goes. And that's going to be it for this video on the Belgian Pro League. Now, let me know in the comments where do you want me to go to next. I've got a few ideas, but I'd love to hear any more that you've got. After you've done that, after you checked out my channel, go and check out fmscout.com for things like face packs, logo packs, tips, tricks, guides, you name it, they've got it. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.